I appeared to be in a restaurant, seated at a round table with 3 others, 2 women and a man. Suddenly something made the others all get up and make their exit in a hurry, so much so that they left all their coats and the women their handbags draped over their chairs. In some bewilderment I slowly got up and also left. Next thing I knew, I was back at the table again, wondering what to do with their coats and bags, as the place seemed to be emptying out. It was evidently closing time. The only waitress who seemed to be there approached my table, wearing her coat and a face like a wet weekend. I asked her something, presumably to do with the coats, but she seemed to ignore me and walked on. Then a middle-aged man came up with much the same result. I felt he was the manager. I thought I had better leave and decided the only thing to do was ring for a taxi and take the coats etc. to their owners' homes. Evidently, for once I didn't have a car with me. To my mind, the whole thing seems to be yet another wake-up call to me. The restaurant suggests a kind of joint personal side of myself and others, but whereas the others, perhaps realising that time is running out, made the effort to move on as fast as they could, I still lagged behind. They left all their luggage behind and I perhaps stupidly took it on. The waitress and manager were probably exasperated real guides, indicating their disdain at me. In second dream, I appeared to be with my 2 grown-up sons, Kevin and Gary, as I followed them into some large hall, boasting the refinery of a classical ballroom with fancy chandeliers and the like. It was packed out with people standing around talking and sporting glasses of champagne or similar, what old Lutonians like me would call a posh do. In contrast to the monkey suits, we 3 were dressed in our normal everyday togs. As we made our way through the masses, me at the back, I suddenly realised I had lost the other 2 in the crowd. By now I seemed to know that we were supposed to be doing some kind of humorous presentation, and was completely at sea because I didn't know where we were supposed to go or even what the thing was called, which made it somewhat difficult to ask somebody. The scene changed and I found myself outside in a large area that resembled a car park. I found out that Kevin and Gary's show had met with some success and they were being requested to do further ones. Evidently, me being absent had not been the disaster I had fondly imagined it would be, and I felt rather deflated. Then I was aware of 2 familiar figures from my younger days, standing there a few yards away from me. It was my mother and father. I was elated at seeing them again. Both had crossed over many years ago. They gave me a welcoming smile. From nowhere I seemed to produce what looked like a British military steel helmet of the type they used to wear in the 2 world wars, with a kind of shallow dome surrounded by a flat rim, rather like the classical UFO in fact. Somehow I managed to sit on the upturned helmet and spun round in circles several times, which made my parents laugh. Then I stood up and pranced about somewhat absurdly, with the helmet somehow attached to my rear end, and adorned further by what looked exactly like a chromium-plated hubcap like older cars used to have. It all seemed as though I was trying, pathetically, to prove I could make people laugh too. Something I have always loved doing, though more usually by word of mouth rather than a circus act. What I find most striking about this dream is its similarity in some respects to the previous one. There is the motif of being with others, then being left behind, in particular with those others going on to presumably better things, while I'm left there wondering what to do. Then there are the two real guides, for I feel that's who they really were, but this time showing visible encouragement, perhaps because I was now indicating an intent to literally get up off my arse and do something, and in my own way move forwards without caring what others may think.
Hi, Peter. Yes, thank you for being so candid, because it's very helpful to many, and we all go through this. It's okay. We have this inertia, and for the longest time, this is a big journey. It's huge, and we have been brought up a particular way in this culture, and it's really embedded in us, and it's very, very difficult to get through, and the inertia and the passiveness to just go along with things and basically, live your life the best you can, etc. These are all nice ideas, but the drudgery is that we came here to get through creation. And again, thank you for being so candid. And yes, this is the biggest challenge of all, the new presentation. I see that. That's why I'm here every day for everybody, because it is a hell of a challenge. And that is that it's going to take a lot out of each person to figure this out, because it's like nothing else. And you have to learn to see that. And yes, the doing part is very important too. And you really have to look at yourself. You decide, because it's going to be your future. In other words, everything is now. And so, like, even in the cafe, when the people got up and left, it's still always now for you to see. That is an objective view for you to see. Like the other part in the helmet is, it represents, like an umbrella or anything like that, something you're under, something on your head, etc. And it is some kind of conformity that you conform to, and it's attached to your rear, which is exemplified. And also look at the relationship. Yes, you're happy to see your parents again, etc. But remember, these are two beings that have gone on, and also if there's emotional attachment there to that personal self only, then again, that's also holding you back. But you decide. It's your life, and you have the right to decide whatever you want. You really do. Each one of us does. And the end result comes to be so. So, this is something that you learn to see and have your intent and decide. And it is a toughie for the personal self to deal with. But it's very real once you start to get the grasp of it. It's like anything. Like when we were young, and at that certain point, our parents said, go get a job, go figure your life out, go support yourself. And that was a drag too. But eventually, as we got used to it, we picked it up, and many times became more creative. But as time went along, we also just got set in our routines. And so this has come along. And whatever you see in the world that's been created, those are routines. That's all they are. It's not about good or bad or indifferent. The overall idea of this world, with the systems of politics, religion, and now even the spiritual paths and science, technology, all these things, education, that look really good, it's really eventually to prompt people to become evil. That's really it. All those degrees and all those awards and all that stuff, they come to the point where they're going to buy you off, and they want you to become evil and support their agendas, which you're already doing with your jobs anyhow. You just don't know it. And that's just how the planet has been set up. We didn't decide it, but then again, we agreed to it. So here we are. So again, trying to motivate people to see what's real for themselves and to stand real with what is real. And it's indifferent. It's all indifferent to the personal self and the five bodies, yet at the same time operating them and doing something real while you are here. So the real guides provide these, these enactments, these acts, these shows, these demonstrations here and on the real side to see if people will wake up, because the free will of ourselves is very important, very, very important. Everybody has that free will. So getting beyond all the labels and the feelings and all the silly stuff, and still utilizing these things, still having your ice cream and cake and doing what you're doing. Yes, but what is your real intent? That's up to you, and no one is obligated. It's just you simply have an opportunity, and that's what Paul said, and that's what the real guides say, and they know your intent. They absolutely know it, and that's why these situations are set up, because they see your intent, and do you care enough about yourself? Because as you do, you shine like the sun, and others see it too. So that's how life is. It is the big awareness, and that's what's so cool is that I'm very grateful every moment that I know about this, because it's taken a long time to get here. Yes, and again, thank you, Peter, for being so candid, because it is very important for you to step up and share, because a lot of people out there, they want to know and they want to understand a lot more. You can help than everybody else.
This planet Earth needs a lot of help from all of us right now. Dean Val of NUUU, Nations United, UNUversal, UNUversity, is contacting people around this world every day to share the importance of the all-natural environment supporting all of us. Dean Val and Duane Lee Heppner.org 501c3 have created CAN, Community Action Network, to help all communities become aware of how to be self-sufficient with permaculture and food and rainforests. We are always looking for real people to step up, who want to learn what life on this earth is all about. We will be leasing large portions of land to create something wonderful for all communities everywhere. Contact Val Vittles on Skype and Facebook to get involved with what we all can do now, or through the phone number provided or the website in the links. Duane the Great Writer.net. Join us for weekly environment awareness Skypes every Sunday at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The NUUU, Nations United, UNUversal, UNUversity, is dedicated to supporting and providing a real purpose and real awareness with the all-natural environment supporting all of us. First comes this earth with food and rainforests, and to protect what is still here. For those who have the awareness to see what is actually taking place here with all the natural devastation, which is also purposely planned by WorldKontrollers, you now have a real opportunity to step up and do something with those who also care about your planet Earth. Duane Lee Heppner has created the NUUU, Nations United, UNUversal, UNUversity, which completely entails the all-natural environment everywhere, and a real education that has real value, and that far surpasses any commonly created indoctrinating educational system that does not focus on what sustains all of us naturally. Real survival makes sense with everything here that is self-sustaining.